warning of a particularly dangerous situation, bracing for several weather emergencies at this hour. 54 million Americans across much of the east, the south, tornado alerts from Texas to Nebraska, pounding hail, shelters along the highway, and severe storms from Philly into the northeast. Also breaking tonight, the ship that sank carrying more than 24 Americans. Tonight, the new discovery. We'll show it to you right here. The race for the White House, and at this hour, the voting across 5 states. The first clues already coming in tonight. Can Clinton and Trump close the deal? New reporting on Prince this evening, that last concert and the emergency landing right after. His condition during those moments. And the other bombshell in that case tonight. And Made in America is back, the one thing replaced in Times Square. Creating jobs tonight. Any guesses?
Made in America!
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. In the race for the White House in just a moment here, but we begin tonight with that rare warning from the National Weather Service at this hour. It is not often they warn of a particularly dangerous situation ahead, but tonight they are telling many communities to shelter in place. The pictures coming in already. Tornado watches stretching across hundreds of miles. The gathering clouds outside St. Louis. The heavy rain making for a difficult commute already. And at the Kansas City airport, large hail hammering the tarmac. To the map at this hour, the concern stretching all the way to the northeast. 54 million Americans in the threat zone. But you can see right there in the red the biggest threat tonight. ABC's Neil Karlinski on the schools closing early and the shelters at the ready right along the highway.
Tonight, dangerous storm systems firing up across the heartland. Ominous skies over Oklahoma, where conditions are quickly deteriorating.
That's fixing to do something right there.
The leading edge of the storm blew through parts of Missouri with blinding hail, slowing traffic on highways. And at the airport in Kansas City.
This is crazy hail.
Near Oklahoma City, some schools canceling classes. Residents warned to shelter in place. Precautions were being made across Kansas, too.
They even have shelters right off the highway. This is a toll booth. There's 2 of them here. You just open this big steel door, and down you go. They say there's room for about 15 people in these.
At McConnell Air Force Base in Kansas, more than a dozen military aircraft were flown out of state as a precaution to keep them from being damaged. This auto dealership, 100 miles northwest of Oklahoma City, spent the day lining up its vehicles bumper to bumper inside to protect them from the onslaught of hail. The most dangerous weather is expected to take aim at an approximately 100,000 square mile area from North Texas to Nebraska. With millions at risk, even highway billboards are warning people to take tonight's warnings very seriously.
Even the billboards with the warnings tonight. The National Weather Service telling families to take this seriously. And Neil Karlinski with us live. Neil, the conditions right now getting miserable.
Really deteriorating here in Wichita, David. We just had to take cover in the last 2 minutes or so. We're getting pelted by hail. We're under a small overhang here. We've had huge bolts of lightning behind us. You can see the hail pelting the ground behind me right here. That's why we've had to move in, getting socked by it. People are moving around the hotel here, trying to get their cars into cover and themselves. And David, this is just the beginning. A long and dangerous night ahead.
Neil Karlinski leading us off tonight. He'll be there right through Good Morning America. Let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano. He and the team driving through the storm zone. The storms in the mid-Atlantic already bringing heavy rain, but the real concern, as I mentioned, the tornado warnings with nightfall now coming. And Rob is in El Reno, Oklahoma tonight. Rob?
David, here in Oklahoma, the storms are about an hour from the I-35 corridor, and then things are really going to get nasty. We are under a PDS watch, a particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, until midnight tonight, and it is huge. It stretches all the way down into Texas, including Dallas. The future radar shows these storms developing throughout the evening, and then squall lines developing on top of that. All pushes to the east, and tomorrow, less of a threat, but getting into highly populated areas. So a 2-day event here, and the storms that pop this evening, David, will last into dark hours, and that's when it really becomes dangerous. David?
Meteorologist Rob Marciano with us tonight. Rob, our thanks to you as well. In the meantime tonight, we turn to the race for the White House. Crucial primaries for both parties tonight. The polls still open in these 5 states, hundreds of delegates at stake. Donald Trump favored going into tonight in the states we had polls for. Ted Cruz and John Kasich teaming up, trying to keep him from getting the magic number, 1,237 delegates before the convention. Though tonight, stumbling when asked about their collaboration. And the new exit polls coming in already from the three largest primary states tonight, showing 69% of Republican voters do not want a contested convention, saying whoever has the most votes should win the nomination. ABC's Tom Yamas outside Trump Tower tonight.
Tonight, Donald Trump on the verge of an East Coast takeover.
Who's going to vote for Trump?
His favorite vote wrangler out with a familiar message.
Hi, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Rhode Island.
Hi, Delaware. I'm Ivanka Trump, and I want to remind you to vote in the Republican primary for my father, Donald J. Trump.
But as Trump prepares to taste victory, he's now learning he will soon stand trial, accused of defrauding thousands of students out of millions of dollars at his now shuttered real estate school, Trump University.
At Trump University, we teach success. That's what it's all about. Success. It's going to happen to you.
New York's Attorney General today calling Trump University a sham, saying he expects Trump himself will be called as a witness this fall, right around election time. The bombshell comes as Trump looks to widen his lead over Senator Ted Cruz and Governor John Kasich and crush their shaky new alliance.
Lion Ted announced that he can't win by himself. He cannot do it. You know, he's a choker.
Kasich agreed to pull out of Indiana to help Cruz, but he then confused matters by saying this about his Indiana supporters.
I've never told them not to vote for me. They ought to vote for me.
When pressed, Kasich's answer didn't clear things up.
Things are not so plain and simple. I don't tell my voters what to do. First of all, I don't have voters. There are people who live in Indiana who will have to make a conclusion.
Trump tweeting this joke of a deal is falling apart, but Cruz calling Trump a whiner.
What Donald Trump calls collusion is actually called coalition building, and it is how you win.
Trump also saving some ammunition for Hillary Clinton, first saying she doesn't look presidential, and now this.
The only thing she's got is the woman card. That's all she's got, and it is pandering.
And Tom Yamas awaiting the results tonight with us. Tom, from Trump Tower in Manhattan. And Trump with some words aimed at Bernie Sanders as well tonight.
That's right, David. Trump saying the Democrats aren't treating Bernie Sanders well and that Sanders should run as an independent. Of course, if he did that, he would take votes away from Hillary Clinton, and that would help the eventual Republican nominee. Tonight, Jane Sanders, Bernie Sanders' wife, dismissing that idea, saying Sanders will not play the role of spoiler this year. David?
Tom Yamas live in Manhattan tonight. Tom, great to have you. And to the Democrats, now Hillary Clinton looking to win big tonight, trying to finally turn the corner for good. Bernie Sanders vowing to stay in the race, though. And here's what voters in the three biggest primary states are already telling us tonight. When asked who has the best chance of beating Donald Trump head-to-head, 66% of Democrats say it's Hillary Clinton, more than double the amount for Sanders. ABC's David Wright from Philadelphia tonight.
I'm terrific. How are you today?
Tonight, Hillary Clinton is hoping to close out Bernie Sanders' challenge once and for all.
In this campaign, it's important that people not just give speeches and get everybody riled up. You need to ask them, what are you actually going to do?
Clinton says it's now time for Sanders to close ranks, just as she did after the 2008 primary.
I did not put down conditions. I didn't say, you know what, if Senator Obama does X, Y, and Z, maybe I'll support him.
Money! But today at Philadelphia's iconic Reading Market,
What are you doing here? You're gonna get me into trouble. The next president right here.
Sanders said, not so fast. We're in Rocky Balboa's hometown. Any chance of a Rocky moment?
I think that if the voter turnout is high, we stand an excellent chance to win here in Pennsylvania and some of the other states as well.
Are you getting tired of being asked when you're going to quit?
Well, it's an absurd question, and people should listen. The answer is we're in this race till the last vote is cast.
And David Wright with us tonight. And David, what can you tell us about the Clinton camp? They're feeling strong tonight?
The Clinton campaign is feeling strong, David, but there's no question that the Sanders campaign may be in for a reality check. In fact, Sanders' top aide now says that tomorrow they will take a good hard look at the math, reassess where they stand, and determine what their strategies may be going forward. David?
Word of a possible meeting, top aides for Bernie Sanders tomorrow. David Wright waiting the results with us as well. Thanks, David. Next to a bombshell after Prince's sudden death tonight, his sister revealing that he died without a will. And we're learning about his condition after that concert in Atlanta, that emergency landing. Prince's net worth, by the way, estimated in the hundreds of millions. That figure could go much higher with all of the unpublished music he is said to have left behind. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with new reporting tonight from Minneapolis.
New details about that emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, just after his final public concert. Prince unresponsive, his bodyguard carrying him off the plane to get medical attention. The medical records blacked out to ensure his privacy.
CFR will be waiting.
This as Prince's sister today officially asking a judge to be appointed to handle her brother's estate.
Thank you for loving him, y'all. And he loved each and every one of you.
55-year-old Tyka Nelson stating in court documents, "I do not know of the existence of a will." According to Minnesota law, that would mean Prince's estate would be split equally among his sister Tyka and his 5 surviving half-siblings. They won't get the full $300 million value of his estate. They will have to pay almost half, more than $146 million in estate taxes. But they stand to make a significant profit as his music skyrockets up the charts once again, and there's that vault of never-before-heard music.
You would never know. D'Angelo, Patti LaBelle, Angie Stone, Erica Badu. Oh yeah, go into the studio for hours and come out and go into the vault.
David, fans still pouring by Paisley Park tonight, many telling us they hope it will be turned into a museum like Graceland, honoring the superstar. David?
Eva Pilgrim with us again tonight. Eva, thank you. We do have breaking news this evening in the sinking of the cargo ship El Faro last year with more than 24 Americans on board. The data recorder has been found at the bottom of the sea. Here are some of the faces of the 33 crew members who died on that ship when it sailed into a hurricane. Tonight, their families, of course, with new hope of finding out perhaps how and why that ship went down. ABC's David Curley, who covers transportation for us live in Washington. David, what are you learning from your sources tonight?
That this discovery, David, could solve the mystery of the El Faro. It was like finding a basketball nearly 3 miles under the surface of the ocean, says the head of the NTSB. This is it, that data recorder. Now they have to recover its data and the voices possibly of the crew who were on the deck of the cargo ship, which sailed into a hurricane and sank back in October. The first mission to the sea floor found only parts of this cargo ship, but not that all-important data recorder until early this morning. All 33 on the ship sailing from Florida to Puerto Rico were lost. Now, the NTSB could know by tomorrow whether or not the equipment on site north of the Bahamas tonight can actually recover this data recorder.
All right.
David?
And you'll stay on at David Curley. Our thanks to you tonight. And from Pike County, Ohio this evening, there are new leads in the killing of 8 members of one family at 4 different locations. Investigators following up now on more than 300 tips in what's being called a carefully planned operation. And tonight, the medical examiner revealing all but one of the victims was shot multiple times, one of them sustaining 9 bullet wounds. We turn to Texas this evening and new trouble for one-time star quarterback Johnny Manziel. Tonight, indicted on a misdemeanor charge for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend 3 months ago. The Heisman Trophy winner with so much promise now facing the possibility of a year behind bars. His lawyer tonight saying Manziel will plead not guilty, that he'll fight it. But it does come after Manziel's own family has sounded the alarm about his health. ABC's Kana Whitworth in Texas.
Johnny Manziel, once a cover boy, tonight has a mugshot in his future for that assault charge. His former girlfriend, Colleen Crowley, claiming an argument last January turned physical. In this affidavit, she alleges Manziel struck her with his open hand on my left ear, and she could not hear out of that ear.
Our defense is that we're not guilty.
Tonight, Manziel's defense team claims Crowley was inebriated and tried to leave their argument and was unfit to drive.
That's why I had to arrange for her to be driven home.
And that's the defense.
Well, that's what happened.
We called Crowley and her attorney and have not received comment. This is the latest setback for the man known as Johnny Football. His substance abuse problems played out in public. He was cut from the Cleveland Browns and lost lucrative endorsements. His father saying he fears his son will die if he doesn't get help. His lawyer telling ABC News he spoke with Manziel last night.
He's just very ready to face this and get this behind him.
Manziel has to turn himself in here in Texas. He faces up to 1 year in jail and a $4,000 fine if convicted. David?
Kana Whitworth with us tonight. Kana, thanks. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The homeowner who shot the burglar trying to break into his home. But listen to this tonight. That burglar is now trying to sue the homeowner, taking him to court. And we want your opinion on this one. Also, take a look at this evening. Homes at risk of going over the edge.